All right, this is a big question. So it's come in twice, and I'm so glad it's come in twice in this early. So Vivian has asked it in this way. Sometimes I feel lazy and fall off the wagon. What can I do in this case? Tara has asked, I start programming after you, it's find it hard to keep at it. Any tips on motivation? I know how good it is for me, but then life takes over. Core, I could go in so many different directions with this. I love the question. And this is what the Alkaline Life book is all about, honestly. So I haven't planted these questions. Tara and Vivian, I have left the money in the same place as usual. But no, I seriously haven't planted this question. This is what the book is all about. So I'm just going to talk to this for a couple of minutes. I'm going to see if my tea has cooled down enough for me. No, it has not. Okay, so this talks sort of to my entire approach and how I teach. It's so utterly important to build this motivation. You've both asked effectively, there's keywords that come up in this: motivation and consistency and staying committed. They're sort of the words like, and confidence, I think, is one that would come up in this conversation. Firstly, Vivian, definitely not lazy. Definitely not lazy. There are forces at play here that are beyond what your brain has been evolved to cope with. It's not about you, and it's not your fault. We have to start in a way, and this is so important. We have to start in a way that gets you big results quickly without overwhelming you. So little steps to begin with that get you big results. Little steps that you feel really confident with, feel really comfortable with, and feel like you're going to be almost too good to be true. It's so easy. We then put the construct around and the framework around supporting it becoming a habit and becoming almost automated. From the results you get from these small steps, you'll get confidence. From the confidence, you'll get motivation. And from the motivation, you'll get consistency. And that's with just even starting with one thing. Let's just say hydration, right? So Vivian and Tara, just as an example, let me know how your hydration is. How much water are you truly drinking per day? So let's just use that as an example. If we just start with hydration, we go, you know what? I know you know salads are good and green vegetables are good, and having your green juices and your smoothies and all of that are good. If you do anything else during the day, during this first week or 2 weeks even, wow, that's an amazing bonus. Good on you. But there's no, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the massive amount of cockatoos out the window, but there's no like pressure on you to do anything other than this one thing, just your hydration, and we're going to completely smash that. This is your first goal, and we work on just hydration. We build you up from wherever you are now to get into that 100 ounces, 120 ounces a day. And we start to put the things in there to make that habit and make that effortless and make that become a thing where after a week or two, you don't even think about it anymore. It's just happening. And just from doing that tiny little one thing, you will see results. Believe me, 20 odd more years of coaching this stuff, I know how much, and this is really, really important that you guys really take this on board. Huge change can come from tiny little actions if you practice them consistently. Okay, so it's building that consistency is important. And you know, the number one thing that completely destroys consistency is overwhelm. So we strip it right back. When you're telling yourself, oh, I've got to do this and this and this and this and this and this, and I can't have this and this and this and this, your brain will look for all the ways to find the things you can't have. So where was it? You just said, Tara, Western society doesn't help. Convenient food is awful and addictive. Exactly. So allow yourself those things for now. We're just focusing on this first thing. In this example, is hydration. We're just focusing on this first thing. And in the Alkaline Life Club, my coaching group, this is what we do with everyone. We go through this process and we find what's the biggest action, the biggest 80-20 action, the 20% of little things that are going to get you 80% of the result. It's another foundation of all of my coaching is built around. 20% of the actions can get you 80% of the result. So what are those 20 things for you particularly? For a lot of people, the first one is hydration. So it's a really great place to start. Once that's dialed in, once you've removed all the stress and all the pressure from everything else, you dial that in, you see results from that, magic starts to happen in your brain. All of your decision-making centers of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the amygdala, they all recognize this. And then you add the next one. Once that one's locked in as a habit that's effortless, that's happening every day, we start on the next one. And that could be having a green juice each morning. Just that. That's all we focus on. You can still have convenient foods for dinner, for lunch. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But your hydration's knocked in, and now you're having a green juice each morning. We find ways in your lifestyle to turn that into a habit, step by step, baby steps, one day at a time. And we work on these things sequentially. What happens here, and this is part of, and I go through this in depth in the book. So again, here's the little link to the book for all of you guys who haven't pre-ordered it yet. Once you get to the point where you are focusing only on the good stuff and you're putting all that good stuff in, it crowds out the bad. That's the name of the approach. You will find yourself just going, I'm feeling really great. I want to add in a salad. I want to have some veggies with my dinner. I am going to say no when someone brings the cookie jar around at work. I'm going to make, I'm going to make that fresh juice. I'm going to make that fresh smoothie, and I'm going to keep moving forwards, and I'm not going to feel like the bad stuff anymore. The more you add in the good stuff, the less you feel like you want the bad stuff. But it has to be simple, baby steps, one thing at a time. I will also add to this, willpower is not a strategy. Willpower, you cannot use willpower as a strategy. And this is where so many people make the mistake of going, I'm going to start this thing tomorrow and I'm going to be perfect. And they may not say that literally in their head, I'm going to be perfect, but I'm going to start this thing tomorrow and I'm going to stop eating all these foods and I'm going to only eat this stuff and I'm going to be amazing. And it's just too much. It's too overwhelming. Like I said, their brain starts looking for all the things they're not allowed to have. And it falls apart after a day or two when the first big challenge comes along. And part of this is their only strategy there is like knowing what they want to do, and then how they're going to do it is willpower. And willpower doesn't work like that. Willpower is completely not built for our modern life. We know, and this is relatively recent studies, but we know that there are two problems with willpower. One is decision fatigue. Literally is a real phenomenon. That actually is a thing. And so it's not just around your food choices. It's around whether you hit the snooze button, what you have for breakfast. Do you look at your phone? What app do you look at on your phone? Do you respond to that comment? You can hear your kids shouting before you do, you answer them. Should you go exercise? All these things. We didn't have all those decisions to make when we were evolving our willpower capacity. It gets exhausted. So by the time you're reaching mid-morning snack time, or you've eaten your dinner and there's something sweet in the cupboard, your willpower is basically zero. That's the first problem. The second problem, and this is perhaps even more insidious, is willpower is powered by glucose. That decision, the prefrontal cortex is powered by glucose. So when your blood sugar is low, which is when you would typically be reaching for convenience food and typically looking to make those decisions, your willpower deserts you. When your blood sugar is low, you have no willpower. When your blood sugar is low is when your body is physiologically craving sugar. It's not going to work. So you have to set yourself up strategies and a framework around your lifestyle to make it work, so that it isn't about, am I lazy? Have I got willpower? That's non-existent. It's about small steps, baby steps, one thing at a time, getting results, seeing those results, getting consistent. When you see those results, the confidence comes through, the consistency is much more straightforward, and you start getting that huge motivation to then add the next thing, and then add the next thing, and add the next thing. Again, don't see this as a striving for perfection. We never need to be perfect, so you certainly don't need to try and be perfect on day one. See this as the short to medium term, the medium term, and the long term. This is for the rest of your life. You want to build something now that is going to be enjoyable and easy and delicious and form part of your lifestyle for the rest of your life, not just for now. So when you fall off track, I'm going to go back to that moment just for one other little part. Where's it gone? I've lost the comment. But when you fall off track and fall off the wagon, there's a real simple process that some of you on this in the comments online will have heard me talk about this already. But there's a really simple exercise for when you fall off track. What I want you to do is close your eyes. This works particularly well if there's been a particular blowout occasion and you feel, whoops, that shouldn't have happened. You close your eyes and you just sit in it for a moment. And you just firstly appreciate how enjoyable and delicious and incredible it is that life, the universe, whatever it is, has given this food into our existence, and enjoy the moment of what you experienced. You may as well get some benefit from it. So just for a moment, be grateful for that delicious food that you just had, or the drink, or what the occasion, or whatever it was. Be grateful for it. Open your eyes and just shake it all out. And then close your eyes again and think about what were the steps that led you to that point. Sometimes it's logistical. You were out, you were hungry, you were caught out without any snacks or anything at hand that was healthy. You really needed to eat something, and the only things available to you were not great. For an example of that's how logistics can sometimes stitch you up. Sometimes it's emotional. And you just run through that. Think about the circumstances that led you to that moment. And then just take a moment to think about, if you could do it all again, what would you do differently? This doesn't have to be a big plan. This doesn't have to be a big epiphany. It's just a process. Just think about, how could things have been different? You know, if it was that logistical example, you know, making up a batch of like some of my bliss ball recipes, or my, you know, my little muffins or something like that. One of my nice little snack recipes, and having that with you, or maybe having a smoothie before you left for work, so that you got all those healthy fats and fiber in that would have kept you a bit more satiated for longer. But think about the steps. What could I have done differently? How could it have been done differently? That's a really important step. And then open your eyes and shake that out as well. And then that's it. I just want you to brush yourself off. Go, I fell off the wagon there. These things happen. It doesn't matter. This is the really important thing. Start again immediately. You don't have to fall into that trap of going, I fell off the wagon. Oh no, I bet, right, I'll start again tomorrow, or I'll start again on Monday, or I'll start again on the 1st of next month, or on the 1st of January next year. I don't know why people put this space in between. You fell off the wagon then, 10 minutes ago, whatever. You're back on the wagon now. Let's crack on. Just go and do something, anything. It doesn't matter what it is, that is a literal physical movement towards a betterment of yourself. It doesn't even need to be about health. It could be about anything. You could do a lesson on Duolingo, on learning a language or whatever. You could write down some goals or whatever, or you could have a salad or a green drink or some water or whatever it is. Just do a simple step, doesn't matter how small, towards your goals, whatever those goals may be. And then you're back on track. Don't let falling off the wagon once derail you for a whole day or a whole weekend or a whole week or a whole month or the rest of the year. Particularly this time of year, it might be easy to go, oh, went a bit crazy on the old buffet at the office party last night. Oh, well, I'll set those goals for January the 1st. No, we've got nearly a whole month between now and then. Don't let it turn into a massive thing. That's my recommendation for you. I hope that helps. I thought that might be a good one to get into at this stage. All right, so